Birdie.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to Because Of Course We Did, where we discuss life as modern artists, the way people react to us and the things that we do, and occasionally talk about recovering from religious trauma, our own mental health journeys, and all sorts in between.
Today we're going to be getting into the weeds about spiritualizing art.
Spiritualizing.
So spiritual. So spiritual.
Spiritualizing art. I was thinking about this subject, and that's
I
was thinking about it, and that's why we're here. There's so many, I was thinking, because there's so many books and things about the spiritual connection to your art and doing it for higher power, being blessed to you from a higher power.
Through you.
Yeah, like using you as a conductor
vessel
for the revelation of some deity.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, fuck that,
Fuck that noise.
And not to say that people don't get spirituality and it's like good for them. And if it is good for them, whatever. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor.
Just in case you were wondering.
I am not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I can't say, but I think it's probably from years of growing up in religious circles that I feel a little annoyed that every good thing I ever did was because of God.
So for context, we're talking about growing up Southern Baptist Pentecostal or whatever, just Southern Christian churches.
Yeah. In my experience, everything good I did was because God did it through me.
Yep.
And everything bad I did was because I was a dirty, rotten sinner.
Filthy
and it was
heathen.
my fault and my responsibility. Mm-hmm. And so I just don't connect very well to this, but also I just don't feel like I'm a very spiritual person. I never did. Like I was in the religious sphere for 20 years of my life. And I just never felt overtly spiritual, which probably means that I was doomed for the hellfires to begin with. Who knows? if you ask, some people, but I just kind of dislike it. I feel like I want a little bit of credit for my work.
Well, yeah, you deserve that because you've put out so much hard work to get there, not just the work itself, but to get to the point that you are, to be able to do it at all. It took a lot of practice. It took a lot of mental health work. It wasn't because some divine deity came down and handed it to you. It's like, this is your,
And
vocation.
also I only really felt like I could start accepting it and moving into it more after I left religion.
Yep.
And became more of myself. So I just what do you think about I feel like I know a lot about, but other people don't, about your feelings about it, about spirituality being included in the whole artistic process. Because there's so many different viewpoints. And I feel like some people very much spiritualize it. And some people are just, they don't, or they think that if you don't, then it's not real or it's not important enough.
Yeah. Like you said, other people feel different ways about it. If it works for you to feel like a spiritual connection to whatever, like God or the source, whatever that means to you, then by all means do it.
If it makes you actually use that part of yourself.
Yeah. But for me, connecting it to spirituality has always made me kind of cringe and not want to do it at all. My main mode of art is music. I like to make music. Someday y'all will see that I will put out
our intro again. Is your music.
That's true. That's fair. I'm published. I'm on Spotify because this podcast comes out on Spotify. So
you're already on Spotify.
Yeah, I'm already on Spotify. That's neat. That's a good way to put that. Thank you. But I'll be making music and I'll do a certain chord change and it'll sound very like Chris Tomlin. I'm like, oh, absolutely not. I need to go wash my hands. Yeah. So backstory on that is because I was in a church band for a very long time. I never wanted to be in it. I tried my hardest not to be. My friends were in the youth band in youth church, and somehow it got dissolved into the main team, and then it was just me and a bunch of old people playing Chris Tomlin songs.
How did I also end up in worship teams whenever I was young? I don't know why. I don't really have any musical ability.
Well, no one actually wants
there
to do it, and so people get co-opted into it. Yeah. They commandeer your time to praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
But yeah, because of that experience, which was traumatic, anything that's slightly similar, I just I don't want it.
Yeah. But there is like so many things with like self-help about art and everything, I feel like so many of them like connect it to it, even ones I admire. I feel like, you know, reading like the Creative Act, he talks about like the source and like people like being like it being transferred through you. And I'm like, I guess because so many people do associate so much to like a higher power, even if it isn't like God TM, it's, you know.
Yeah. I feel like Ruben's take on it is a bit easier to swallow than like Julia Cameron's from The Artist's Way. I'm sure a lot of people have made wonderful progress from that book, but her constantly associating it to God was a big turnoff for me.
Because of the trauma.
Because of the trauma. If you haven't guessed already, it's because of the trauma. But yeah, Ruben's being more like not really a higher power, but you know, the universe is a little easier to swallow, but I still feel like
it's a little bit woo.
Yeah. And like, that's, you know, that's great if that's what you're into. But, for me, I feel like the things he's explaining with the source in the universe and stuff is just like you being observant, you being present in you being mindful, really being in the moment and taking in your senses and interpreting them. Like that's all it really is. It's not the spirit moving through you. It's just like you collected this information and now you can do with it whatever you want.
Yeah. And I feel like some people do feel like their work, whatever it is influenced by whatever they believe in. Like, and I think that is good if you feel as if it's, you know, if it's positive beneficial for you. Yeah. Like there's so much of my life that I felt like I couldn't do because it wasn't honoring enough to God in some way. And I took it very seriously and I wanted to be all these things. And I realized that it wasn't helping me. And it definitely wasn't helping me to embrace all the like good, like basically all the good things about myself. Like I was just like an anxious wreck who didn't like embrace the art that I wanted to make and the life I wanted to live. And I feel like I'm confessing right now. Yeesh. But yeah, I do see some people who use their beliefs and they are able to channel into like good things that they are honoring whatever they believe in through their stuff and everything. And they make beautiful things and I admire them. But I feel like it kind of depends on how you were taught spirituality as you grew up and the kind of church you were in and how much trauma was put upon you through that.
If what you went through was helpful or harmful.
Yeah. And for some people, it's really helpful. Like some people, it seems like it does what they need in order for their lives to be happy. And other people, it completely wrecks, which is interesting. But I also want to talk about like the commercialization of art and how like, is it less important? Like, does it lose something? Because there's also like the concept of like the kind of, not even just spiritualization, but kind of like the rising up, like the pedestaling of art as being like this pure like expression of human ability. And it's like, so like selling it belittles it and like you shouldn't do that. Or like, I feel like it can, because I feel like it can hold you back from like making a living off of your art because you've like risen it up to this place of
to go on top of that, like doing that kind of thing will prevent you from doing it at all, much less make money off of it. Having too high a standard for it or thinking it's way greater than it actually is. Like it is, you know, pure human expression, which is beautiful, but that doesn't mean that it's like reverent. Like you shouldn't be like you said, put it on a pedestal or anything. Like it is really important. You know, it's beautiful and it's wonderful, but you know, it can't be so, I don't know, what am I saying?
I feel like it can be somewhere in between, like this like very important thing that, but also something practical, like a level of like craftsmanship in there with your artistry.
Absolutely. And every art has some kind of like craft to it. Like there are skills that you have to hone to be able to do this art. And like people bring it into their homes in some way or the other, like paintings or like your stuff, the prints or the bags and stuff, all of that stuff. it comes into the home. In music, it comes into the home through, headphones or speakers or records. It's a physical or, it's some kind of object. Mm-hmm. And so it's not, it's not a spirit. It's not
it is a physical
an enchantment.
thing. Yeah.
It was crafted by human hands and brains, and it's human.
Yeah. And like, that's okay. Like,
that's great. That's
and that
wonderful.
is good. It's one of the best things that humans do is create art. And we've always done it as long as like time has seemed to have, like, as long as we know.
Cave drawings is
like
the first thing we know about man.
But there's also like this whole element of like, we've talked about this before, but like kind of belittling it as it's not important.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I guess that's why so many people do attach like a spiritualization to it.
To make it important. I think that's a good point because like so many people, like spirituality is paramount in their lives. Mm-hmm. And so if you slap art onto that, like it's glorifying whatever the deity is or spirit or whatever, it worth
becomes
something
legitimate.
More than
playing
trinkets
around,
or something.
Yeah, or just trinkets. And so I guess I understand that element of it, that it's, even if people don't necessarily know that's what they're doing, like maybe that is what they're doing, that they're trying to make something more solid that can come off feeling very liquid, I guess. Like, this thing there is like, oh, what is it? Is it important? Does it matter? Obviously it does, because art is everywhere and in everything. And like entertainment is art. Like the TV shows you watch, it's art. It's an art form. It's storytelling. And that's an art form. And obviously it's something we want, and it's something we care about, and something we rarely abandon as people.
I would go so far as to say that we need it. Like, so many people discount it that, like you said, it's not this necessary thing, but it is necessary. It's an expression of the human experience, and it's relating to each other. And that is a need. Like, that's a psychological need to have a community, to connect to other human beings, to know that you're not alone in the world.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like, it doesn't, like, I think it doesn't have to be associated to like an established religion to be important. It just is important.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that's so hard for so many humans to like accept, especially when it comes to art, is like, it can just be important. Like being kind can just be important, even if God isn't going to smite you. Like,
apparently that's really difficult.
Very difficult for some people. Like, oh, that terrifies me. It's a completely different subject. But like,
if you don't believe in God,
they didn't, like, if it wasn't for God, I would have killed everyone. Like, you would have. What?
That's the only thing holding you back.
Excuse me. And it's like, and it shouldn't be for like, I can only make art for the glory of God. And it's like, well, you're providing a service for one, for people who enjoy this art, as well as for you and your life being happy and feeling fulfilled. Because I think if you have a desire to make art, you're not going to feel fulfilled unless you make art.
Yeah, the most, what is it that I think it was Mary Oliver said, it was like the most regretful people are the people that felt the calling to make art and ignored it. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm pretty sure it was Mary Oliver, but I was one of those people, and I was miserable. Mm-hmm. I was so miserable.
Into depression.
Yeah, like seeing nothing, feeling nothing. It was really bad.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you try to, like, previously in your life, before therapy and all that sort of thing, you have descended into depression when you've tried, because you've put so much pressure on yourself. But also the depression that you've fallen into whenever you aren't trying at all is worse and it's scary. And so obviously, like, it's a need. And I guess, again, I can understand. I'm like, am I understanding spiritualization of art now? And I was like, that's nonsense. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I understand it. It's like, it feels like a need to do this. And I guess like that's the only thing people can understand, like a urge like that, that's not biological in a sense of like you need to eat or whatever.
Right.
It's a thing that you feel called to. And so use it called to by God, even if it's, or, the spirit or whatever, the source, the thing that's telling you what to do, because it feels strange.
Right.
It feels strange to feel like this desire to do something. I guess I just still don't think that I don't believe that it's any like greater power. I think that it is a human desire.
That's the thing that I fundamentally disagree with that kind of thing, is that most of them say things like this higher power, whether it be God or the universe or something, has this thing that they're going to do through you. And I don't think that's what it is, because
and then nothing happens.
And then nothing happens. Yeah. But I'm like learning through exercises, and like the book we've been doing has other people's exercises, and, you know,
Writing
just
exercises.
thinking about it too much, because I think about everything too much. We're your modern day philosophers, which is why we're
For our sins.
Yeah.
To our great detriment sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, through practice is how you hone your craft, and then you can just do the things where, like, sure, there are instances where people had no idea what the fuck they were doing and then created a masterpiece, but that's really rare. The people that create great things consistently are people that worked on their craft, and like, you don't need God's permission or a deity's permission or the spirit to move through you to create something great. You just need to show up and actually put in the work.
Yeah, because like it doesn't really matter. Like there are people like okay. It might just be God if it was like only people who credited him made great things, which isn't true. And it's like, yeah, people who credit him do make great things, but people who don't also do.
I feel like you know, music is my stomping ground, so that's where a lot of my stuff comes from. But musicians are, especially the ones that have created great works that people still listen to 40 years later, they were often very irreverent and godless people. They weren't, you know, doing things for the glory of the God. Often the Christians are the ones that are like, write that down. And then like 10 years later, they're doing the same style of music, and then the greater culture has moved on.
Yeah, it's true. I was a little late to the party. I guess it's like you have to be sure that you're not going to be smited for liking this thing first. Like, let's see if other people get struck down first and then we'll come in.
Well, they keep doing that rock and roll, so I guess it's okay that we do it.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I'm not sure if I should talk about that. It's one of the things that, like, I'm like, there's so many things in like modern Christianity that are so different from the kind of Christianity that we grew up with, which is very strange to see. Like, we've been out of that world for so long now, and like looking into it, it's like, what? Wait, you guys can do that?
You guys can do that.
I was in so much trouble to even consider that, you know, kind of a thing.
That's a scan. I better skedaddle.
Yeah, and it's a little shocking. Like, I know not everyone is, you know, a Christian white nationalist, but some are. And that's not what I'm talking about, though. I just like, I don't want to be misunderstood and it be like, oh, like she just hates these people, like religious people or anything, when I don't, because I feel like it's also confusing for people who knew me growing up, because I'm a bit different now. I mean, I'm the same as I was, but I'm also different than I was. And I'm like, I think that's just what happens when people grow up and change and move around, or just like aren't within the same kind of stimulus as they always were. And I feel like I have some anxiety about like talking about these things, because like I know that there's people who be like offended. But like I think that that's one of the things, like I'm trying to choose not to be upset about being misunderstood.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm gonna be, and I know I always have been. Like, people are gonna misunderstand you no matter what you do or say. Yeah,
and that's a valuable skill to have as an artist, to not care what other people think, or at least not take seriously whenever you get negative comments.
And like, people are gonna like judge you no matter what you do or say, and they're gonna misconstrue what you say no matter how careful you are. And it's like, I know that people who like care about me wouldn't think the worst of me. I've had people think the worst of me, even though I don't feel like it was justified.
I've been judged in and out of court.
Exactly. And I've not been to court. Just a little disclaimer there.
That's a quote.
Yeah, like I have been judged, even though I feel like that wasn't fair, because like I've given you no reason to judge me.
Right.
Like that harshly. Like, you can question me, you can ask me, but like you're just gonna believe shit about me that you've just surmised from like 2 seconds of my speech, or what someone else said, or something else. And I'm just kind of like done with that. Like, I'm just so tired, and I know that I won't always say what I think I always even agree with. Like, shit, I shouldn't have said that. That's not really what I meant. But I can always like apologize or make clear if someone cares about me enough to like, if they don't care about me enough to check with me, like, is this what you mean? What you meant? Then I suppose it doesn't matter.
That's true.
And that's what I'm learning, trying to learn to accept.
Right.
But it's hard.
It is very difficult.
There's all like not wanting to be misunderstood, not wanting to be perceived differently than the way you want to be perceived.
That, coming back to that religious trauma, there's that church Christian instilled people pleasing. Mm-hmm. The servant's heart.
Servant's heart. That was you should have just plastered that across my forehead because it was what was called every day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I love helping people. Like I
do.
You know I do, Michael. Like I love helping people, and it's not something that I feel like I need to do to the point of my detriment anymore.
Right.
And that's what I was taught to do. And it's what I did do for so long. And I guess there's still a lot of resentment I have from my religious upbringing that I have to work through.
Really? You think so?
You noticed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was being subtle. I have a lot of trauma to work through, and I'm trying to work through it, and it's going to take time, but I am happy with the direction I'm going in life. I feel like I'm healing. I'm proud of you. I feel like I'm growing.
I can see that. You are happier and lighter.
Well, it's anxious. God, it makes you anxious.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if you always think that you're always sinning every day, and just having one sin that wasn't repented for can send you to hell, then yeah, that's a pretty anxious thing.
That's heavy, bro.
That's heavy, bro.
Yeah, and like maybe not everyone got that in their raising, but I definitely did.
Right.
And I don't think I'm ever gonna. I can't say I don't because I didn't know, but I'm pretty goddamn sure I'm never gonna be believing in this again.
Right.
And I have a lot of complexities of my thoughts processes about it all. And I'd talk to anyone about it in person. Like, if you want to know what I think about something, we can definitely talk about it.
Right.
But obviously I can't get all the nuance of my beliefs or lack thereof in one conversation all the time. Mm-hmm. But I think that's kind of the thing is like, I just want everyone to be a little bit more willing to listen to what people feel and without getting offended or
just don't take it at face value.
Like making it personal. Like it's like, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about my experience with this sort of thing.
Right.
I'm talking about what I've been through, and that matters. And it doesn't have anything to do with you or what you've been through or the people you know.
Indeed. It's like, I don't remember saying anything about you. I was talking about my own experience. I
think that's true of a lot of subjects, though. Yeah. It's like
people just jump on you without even taking time to consider anything.
Yeah, I can just think of people like even just talking about like the spirituality of art. Like, and some people that must be like so important to them. And I don't want to diminish how, like I've said, I don't want to diminish how important that is to you. Mm-hmm. Like, if that is what makes you feel fulfilled and excited about your life and your work, then great. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm happy for you. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand why you'd want to make yourself miserable about me. Like, I'm not making myself miserable about you.
Right.
Like, it's fine.
Let people live their lives.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why that's so difficult for some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know why it's so difficult for some people. But like, you know, there's some people that I fundamentally disagree with, but I'm not like getting in their face about it.
Wish them ill in any way. Yeah. But it can feel that way when, especially like, it feels very like an us against them situation when I didn't ask to join this fight.
Right.
Like in a lot of things, like just because you view something differently, guys, doesn't mean that that it's wrong. Like just because something is different doesn't make it wrong. Like, and so many people have such a hard time with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it's, people have said it 1,000 times, like just let people live, let people do what works best for them. And I'm feeling anxious and misunderstood.
Constantly. I mean, that's what the last episode was talking about, being misunderstood, like getting labeled something, or like, I'm not a label.
Yeah. I'm a whole person. And like, that's the other thing I think that like talking about that, like we talked about in the last episode, like aesthetics, it's like you are diminishing someone down to the small, like to one part of them.
Right.
And like, that's so dangerous. Like to someone who's like, you're diminishing them to like, they're a religious person. They're a not religious person. They're a man, they're a woman, they're, this or that. And I think I think that's where we have gone sideways with
as a culture.
And I feel like when I was younger, I feel like we were breaking down those barriers and like, the whole
2010s
individuality thing where you can be who you are and like, that's okay. okay. And that's good. And we're happy. We're excited. We're listening. We want to know what's
authenticity was paramount.
Yeah. And I feel like it's just like now it feels like it's just diminish yourself. Diminish yourself, like sometimes like diminish yourself emotionally, diminish yourself physically in our current
Do these
culture.
things that are trendy and you can become popular or whatever or loved.
Like it's so immature.
Yes.
And it's sad because it's not like I'm in any way immune to it. Like,
I mean, it's everywhere.
It's a lot of things you have to like fight being diminished into a nothingness, basically. And it's frustrating. It's
not helpful.
Life is so complex. Again, like we've talked about this before, like life is complex and people are complex. And the way that, like, to associate it back to what we were talking about, like your art is complex and the way you view the world is complex and the way that you express yourself is complex. And it's this building and building and building of all your life experiences, and whether or not like you feel like you need to feel like something is brought to you through the ether, or if you just feel like, well, I'm just expressing my love of so many things. Like,
right.
I'm expressing beauty and I want to share practical or beautiful or what in real solid ways.
Yeah.
You know, connection to other human beings. And that's what, you know, I think all art is connecting to other human beings.
Yeah. And that can only happen if you're being authentic.
Yeah. And if you're like putting on a persona or trying to please
someone
or other non-existent people, which is trend stuff. It's like chasing non-existent people's approval. Then you're never going to produce the art that's really going to connect with people. And I feel like that's the thing that I'm concerned about with the spiritualization of art. Like, who are you trying to please? Yeah. Like, even if you do completely believe in God, there's no way of knowing what God really wants. Like, you
talk to him.
You got a God phone, Taylor, and you just don't know. So you have to, it's really, and if you're running it through like a screen of, will this please God, instead of like, I feel like there's so much holding back in that.
Yeah.
Like,
will this please God?
So many people would disagree, but
versus like, is this an expression of who I am?
Yeah.
My experience in the world.
I mean, I am totally talking from my own experience, because I did let my like conservative raising control so much about me. And I feel like I'm not that different still. Like, I am myself, but I am a far less diminished version of myself now than I was when I was like I grew up in a very conservative town, in a very conservative church. And like everything was just so rigid, but also I didn't know what was right or wrong entirely either, because I feel like no one really knows. Like, obviously there are things that we think are, but we like, I don't know, I think that's a sin because I don't like it. And for me, I feel like I was just like scared. I was scared that anything about myself was wrong all the time. Like there was even just like enjoying myself I could get scolded for.
Yep.
Even if it was nothing. Like, it was laughing. It was just like dancing around, laughing with my friends, and suddenly I am in trouble. I have done something wrong. And I'm like, what? So I learned that having fun and enjoying myself was wrong.
Expressing
myself in any way, expressing my opinion, expressing my joy. It was wrong. And it was just wrong because certain people in my life didn't like it. Not because it didn't suit their view of what they wanted out of me. Right. And again, this is my experience, but it made me squash myself down till I wasn't even a person anymore, it felt like. And I didn't really want to live, and I didn't want to live in this world, and I felt guilty and I felt bad. And it's taken a long time to get to the point of feeling okay with myself. And feeling like I can express myself. And it's still hard. I still catch myself feeling like, well, I don't know. Like,
maybe I shouldn't do that.
Maybe I just shouldn't. And like, I don't know. People are going to think this. People are going to think that. And I'd really like to stop thinking about what other people are going to think. I'd like to just like be like, I'm just myself and I can do what pleases me as long as it doesn't hurt other people. Like purposefully. Like, you can't help accidentally hurting people sometimes. Like, you can accidentally forget, like you just didn't even see someone and you didn't smile at them and they're upset, and that's not your fault.
No, that's not.
Like, purposefully trying to cause someone pain or discomfort or whatever is different. You have any more thoughts about this? I feel like I've hijacked conversation having an anxiety breakdown about my journey.
I mean, just to corroborate it, that I had the exact same experiences.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences?
Just crushing myself down. I had this whole internal world where I was able to think my thoughts, but, around family and church and stuff, I was someone completely different. I had this other persona that I pulled out for them.
Yeah, it was a little scary to watch, honestly.
Yeah. And so I did work on music stuff that was secular. Oh my God.
Secular.
Sick. Very inspired by Bon Iver and Fleet Foxes and other music at the time. But it was, that kind of stuff it was secular, so it was bad. It was sinful, but I kept that.
People even care about that anymore?
I doubt it.
It doesn't seem like they do. It was a big deal when we were kids.
It was a big deal. Parents breaking their kids' CDs and beating them senseless. But yeah, I kept that world completely separate. And so I had two personalities, and it was hard to keep track of who was who. Mm-hmm. And, if you find it impossible to express yourself and feel comfortable to do so, how could you do so with art? And so I made a lot of music in that time, but I didn't really release it or do anything with it. I mean, I was a kid and it was poor quality, but I didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't, share it with anybody, because who would I share it with? They would be so blindsided by it that I didn't share who I was with them.
Yeah. Do you feel like it still affects you? The background of knowing that people wouldn't be okay with you expressing yourself. Do you think it still holds you back from wanting to express yourself in your work?
I would most likely, to some extent, probably. But I'm trying to get over that. And like you said, trying to do things that interest me and are expressions of who I am, and things that I just like and would like to exist. And so I'm working on trying to do that.
Yeah. And there's that whole kind of cliche thing about being the adult that you needed growing up to yourself.
Well,
and at least
true.
that's to your childhood self, your inner child or whatever, but it's also to your, as a mentor in your art, somebody that you didn't have. I have examples of a few people who were really kind to me very temporarily in my life, but people who were kind to me and supported these things about myself, where I felt like a lot of things about me were ignored and belittled because it didn't suit the narrative of people in my life. It's not what my parents wanted for me. And so it was just kind of ignored, and I smooshed it down as much as I could to please them, because I wanted to be pleasing. That's what we were taught to do, is to be pleasing. And that's the thing about art, is it's not always pleasing to everyone.
No, it can ruffle feathers.
Yeah. And that's some of the greatest art, honestly, is the art that ruffles feathers. And that's one of the things. Movements. It's really hard for me. I don't love the concept of ruffling feathers. I don't like the concept of having this conversation overly and people hearing it and maybe misconstruing it. But I also want to be honest. And I want to be open.
It's an exercise in being authentic, being yourself.
Yeah. And I'm you have this one life to live, regardless if you believe in a heaven or not. You have one life here to live. And how do you want to spend it? Do you want to spend it conforming yourself into something that you don't even know if it'll be acceptable to other people? You just kind of hope it will be. You hope it'll lead to acceptance. That's a whole
other conversation about these people have the correct religion and these people are wrong. Who's to say who is right? Because all of them have the same fervor and whatnot. That's not what we're talking about right now. But yeah, everyone knows that they have this life on Earth, whether or not they believe something else.
Whether or not they think it's the Matrix or the in the was it ethmisma? I don't know. It's Hindu. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
That was above my head. Nirvana.
Yeah, there's one religious. Is it Hinduism? I can't remember, but it's where the life is a fantasy. It's not real.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But yeah, we only have this one life on this earth, and I don't want to waste it trying to please people you'll never please as well. People who aren't pleased with you being who you are never going to be pleased with you being who you aren't. Yep. They may be temporarily, but there's only so much you can keep up in that as well. What can you do? There's only you will always be striving to please, and they'll never be fully pleased, and you will never feel fulfilled as a person if
living
you
a half life
are working to please other people.
Yep.
And like, that's the thing, like to associate back to what we were talking about, like if you feel like spiritualizing your art is what you need to do to put it out there and to live your life, then great. But if you don't, just drop it. It's fine. It doesn't have to be spiritual. Yeah. It can be
a craft.
It can be just like, I like making things pretty.
Yeah. Then make things pretty.
And it makes me happy. It makes me feel fulfilled and people like it. And if you want to sell it, if people want to buy it, like, and I think they will if you truly believe in it. If it's like, this is nice stuff and I like it and it made me happy to make. And like, what more can you ask for out of life, honestly? Yeah. Is to do something you enjoy and make money off of it. Yeah. If you can. And if you don't, that's fine too as well. Like if you just want to make stuff.
Things that you want to do.
Like living your life. Like you look back on your life like, man, I did a lot of things that I enjoed. Like, does that sound so bad?
I should write down all these quotes so that I can remember who said them. But I remember there's this guy talking about how, like, say the president of Bank of America, you know, he's on his deathbed. You could imagine him saying, I wish I had created more art. But you can never imagine an artist being on their deathbed being like, I wish I was the CEO of Bank of America.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same. Like, a lot of people have said things like that. Like, wish I'd spent more time with my family. I wish that I had been a better person. I wish I had been happier, like, and enjoyed my life. And now it's over. Yeah.
And so if you feel desires for things, maybe you should pay attention to that and try to pursue them. And you might end up happier in the process, unless it's illegal.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should listen to yourself. And I feel like brains are so complicated and complex. But I think that you kind of know what you want. Yep. Even if you don't know that you know. And that may not be art, but if you're listening to this, it probably is about art. At least I hope so. But like if it's something else, like or something even artistic, but it's not necessarily art, like something that's like creative, like often you kind of know what you want and you can figure it out. Yeah. You just like don't wait for a sign. Like, cause I wasted so much of my life waiting for signs, like proof that this was the right move and this was the right time. And I was like, oh, does God want me to do this? Does he not want me to do this? And like, sometimes the sign never comes. And I think people who think that they are is like, it's just what you really wanted to do. Also, like you have to start working towards the thing that you want. Yep. And not wait for like some spiritual sign to come down to you because it may never come. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, especially if you think you might regret not doing it.
Absolutely. Should be authentic. Should find out who you are and go be them.
Decide what to be and go be it. Yeah. Hey, brothers. Well. That's about it. I don't think I have much more to say about. I probably had a lot more to say about that, but I went on a tangent. So
jobs are good.
Thank you. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We love you. Probably, unless you're weird. Let me still like you. You might be cool.
Please come back.
Maybe misunderstood. You can talk it out. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.